Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about Kabam Brocolli leaving, well, Kabam. And in my personal opinion, Kabam Brocolli is, or well, was the best champion designer currently working for Kabam on Malcolm's champions. And implications that might cause, we're going to discuss later. And obviously there are a ton of things happening in Kabam, and I'm sure it is quite a stressful period for everybody working there right now, with the game being underperforming financially and being obviously underperforming. Well, in reality, the game engine's all messed up. At the same time, I want to make sure that nobody tries to kind of make speculations about why Kabam Brocolli is leaving. Nobody, as far as I know, knows 100% for sure, and I'm sure that there will be people again trying to be like super negative about it because, you know, it was either underappreciated or whatever else. From what I have heard, it's basically just because he has found better opportunity elsewhere, which is what happens to people who do a great job and who are good at what they do. But this video, first part of the video, we're going to be going over the champions that he actually designed. Here Cam has put them all in the picture, more or less kind of like in chronological order. And so we're going to be taking a look at it. So it seems that he started working in Kabam in 2019. And that's also when we can pretty much see that vast majority of the best champions released since 2019 have been the work of Kabam Brocolli. It is no exaggeration to say that without him, we wouldn't have many of our favorite champions, for a whole lot of us. Now, by the look of it, here he was designing about 5 to 7 champions a year. That makes me think that there are about 4 champion designers actively designing champions. Maybe there are a few more, but yeah, so he was designing about 5 to 7 champions a year since joining Kabam in 2019, which again would equal out to about 4 people designing champions for us in this game. And I can tell you without a doubt that he is responsible for well over half of the actually good ones each year. So we're going to talk about implications later on, but first let's just quickly go over the champions that he has designed. So in 2019, Nick Fury, one of my personal favorites, in my opinion, the best skill champion in the entire game, and amazing piece of work. So part of this video is just me trying to give Kabam Brocolli all the props he deserves in the world. Second champion would be Black Widow Clairvoyant, also an amazing Mystic champion, commonly, kind of like admittedly, looked at as the second best Mystic champion in the game currently. And yeah, an amazing work as well. He has Guillotine 2099, not necessarily my cup of tea, but I do know for a fact that Guillotine 2099 is beloved by many people, and obviously a very good and useful champion that's fairly unique. Then he also has Mysterio. Mysterio recently got a bit more life pushed into him with Penny Parker synergy. I have never been the biggest Mysterio fan, but I do think that Mysterio has been, well, fairly underrated by the community in general. And all great artists do have a fumble, and the fumble was really bad. And champion that is arguably the worst one, probably the champion that was the source of many office jokes for Kabam Brocolli, was Ebony Maw. One of these things is not like the others, and Squidward is definitely the one standing out. Obviously, Squidward is, well, trash. He was trash when he was released, he was trash when he got buffed the first time, and he's still fairly trashy. There are some people who like him, but realistically, he's still trash. And then the final champion of 2019, Dr. Doom. So in 2019, he designed both of the best champions in the game, and champions that are arguably now at the top of the game overall. If you're putting aside Ghost and Quake, which we likely can look at as happy accidents for us and very very unhappy catastrophes for Kabam, then the best champions in the game after Quake and Ghost will definitely be Nick Fury and Dr. Doom, in my opinion. Or at the very least, they are definitely in top 5. And yeah, both of those he designed in the very first year of working for Kabam. And moving on to 2020, he had only 4 champion designs, I believe. One of them is Immortal Abomination, which was a collaboration with Brian Grant, which is obviously an awesome champion. A lot of people absolutely love it. Then he also designed Red Guardian, a champion that I personally like a lot. I do think that he needs a little bit of help with his level 2 debuff duration and his trauma debuff, or whatever it's called. Is it trauma? I think so. Either way. But I do think that Red Guardian is a very good addition. Then past Red Guardian, we have Sasquatch, a champion that has never really resonated with me much. I might take him to rank 2 for funsies because I duped him as a 6-star recently, but it's not quite my cup of tea because you have absolutely no control when he enters Wrath of Tenebrak. I do like a lot of abilities that we have in Sasquatch, just not necessarily for me. And obviously then we have Big Daddy APOC, who is one of the best mutant champions in the game, once again. And in between Apocalypse, Dr. Doom, and Nick Fury, I don't think we need to mention much more, but he also designed Mangog, which would be the probably second weakest champion. I do think Mangog is actually a very good champion. I do think he's just under-tuned. I do think if Mangog had better damage, he would actually be quite popular and quite useful. And then we have Mr. Negative, a champion that is growing on me more and more, and then I absolutely enjoy playing, but a champion that's been made utterly useless by Kabam spamming True Focus everywhere, so, you know, we'll reserve our judgment there. He also designed Strife. I know a lot of people do like the Discount Batman over here. Super hype champion. And he also designed Kitty Pryde, who is all the rage right about now. Many people have already fallen in love with her. Unfortunately, I do not have any copy of Kitty past 3 stars. So I actually haven't had a single fight with her yet. And he also designed Hercules. So in between Apocalypse, Dr. Doom, Hercules, and Nick Fury, he obviously has reshaped this game forever. So that is the good part. The champion that Kabam Brocolli has made over the course of the last 3 years, a lot of them are absolutely amazing. And amazing, great, wonderful, useful, versatile additions to the game. Also, if you're going to notice, in general, like this year we have had only two like really kind of like hot, loved champions, hyped up champions, which is Shang-Chi and Hercules. And he's responsible for 50% of that. In 2020, he designed APOC, iBomb, and Guardian Sasquatch. APOC and iBomb are some of the best champions of the year, once again, together with Cosmic Ghost Rider. Where is that guy? Is Cosmic Ghost Rider here? Yeah, he should be. I'm just going blind. Either way. He was responsible for about, I'd say, half of the best champions in 2020. And in 2019, he pretty much made majority of all the good champions, with the only like real exceptions that being Warlock, Fantastic Four champions, I guess. Even Diablo, when it came out, obviously, was meh. So it was Captain Marvel movie, Warlock, and Fantastic Four champs that were not designed by him and Namor, I guess. That's a lot. Assuming that he represents 25% of champion designers, he was giving us half of the actually good and amazing champions in the game. Now, unfortunately, that will obviously do have some implications, and it's annoying. It's I don't know, you could say scary. There are a lot of scary things happening with the game and in the game right now, and I do genuinely get the impression that Kabam, as is extremely understaffed. Might be true, might not be true. But Kabam Brocolli leaving the company for a better opportunity. Obviously, wish him all the best. But still, I think we'll leave like a massive hole when it comes to champion design. Ultimately, I think in 2020, Kabam hasn't been hitting it out of the park. And in between Spider-Man 2099, Super Scroll, Psycho Man, Purgatory, and, you know, a bunch of other champions, America Chavez and whoever, Jubilee, losing the best champion designer, at the very least, in my head, the best champion designer, is yet another massive hurdle Kabam will have to overcome. Now, I like to always say nobody is irreplaceable, and that's true. But can we just imagine if Doctor Doom was another Sentry? Can we just imagine if Nick Fury was Psycho Man? Can we just imagine if Apocalypse was, you know, I don't know, Jubilee? The game would be a lot different, and I don't think different as in better. I think it would be different as in a lot less interesting. So, the other point of this video is, I suppose, to say that I'm genuinely extremely worried right now. The point number one is definitely just to acknowledge how great of a job Kabam Brocolli was doing, and that I believe he probably was one of the handful of people that are genuinely good at what they do. There might be more, but at the very least, we know about Kabam Brocolli, right? And the second thing is, at this point, the game has had quite awful first 2 quarters financially. First quarter, so that would be January, February, March, was awful because of, well, relatively trash champion releases and absolutely no interesting content. Second quarter was still awful, despite having some better champion releases and having spring cleaning. And now when it's going to come for results of the third quarter, which is soon to end, which is going to be July, August, and September, I don't see a miraculous jump in spending. If anything, this again will be one very depressing financial report. And a lot of people overuse a lot of, you know, exaggerated terms like the game's about to die. No, the game's large enough to sustain itself for a while, even with a negative flow of players, which I don't think anybody will argue with me right now, that we are experiencing a lot more players leaving this game than joining this game. And rightfully so, because the game's damaged. You can't expect for, you know, people to stay and more people to come to play Marvel Coins of Champions if the game's not working, no matter how good it is. And another key designer leaving Kabam right now, I think, is pretty much the last thing anybody wanted to hear. But ultimately, Kabam has pulled themselves out of some sticky situations in the past, and let's hope that they do it again, because they're definitely in a tricky situation and action is required. Unfortunately, we do not have a good insight of what exactly is happening, you know, within the company, what's the morale there, and whether there is a game plan. But I hope there is. But let's all wish all the best to Kabam Brocolli. And let's say thank you to Kabam Brocolli for giving us some of the most amazing, most fun, most interesting champions this game has ever produced. So that is it. I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about